conversation about ivermectin and its efficacy in treating COVID, you will recognize today's guest. He has become the face of this debate after appearing before the US Senate on December 8th, and since then has been talking about the FLCCC findings that could change the course of the current pandemic. He is a pulmonary and critical care specialist and president of the Frontline COVID-19 Critical Care Alliance, Dr. Pierre Kory. Welcome to the program.
Thanks. I really appreciate you having me.
I know that you're following the sort of recommendations around the world and who is approving it, who's using it, who's not. Are you aware of the National COVID-19 Clinical Task Force? Have you ever heard of them?
The National COVID, in which country? Are you talking about
Australia.
in Europe?
No, Australia.
Australia. No, but they sound like every other task force everywhere. Are they, what are they? Are they part of government or outside?
Well, they were set up to give recommendations to the TGA, which is the Therapeutics Goods Association in Australia. So it is their job to look through all the research and make recommendations. And I did discuss this with Tess Lowry when I spoke to her a couple of weeks ago. Back then, they were not recommending ivermectin based on seven trials that were out, and which included 519 people. Since then, they have updated their studies. It's still not recommended, but now they're saying that their recommendation is based on 10 trials, and that included 800 adults. And to me, it's crazy because obviously your study alone includes 27 trials.
Insane.
So I mean, the question that I've got written here is, should task forces like this be engaging itself in political bias or a narrative that works against the betterment of public health?
I mean, the answer is no. Should they be working for things that are against the public health? Absolutely not. Are they intentionally doing so? I don't know that I can answer that, but I want to make a general comment, because the group that you're describing in their recommendation is identical to many similar groups in many Western nations. And I want to make one point, is that when you do a review of the data, there's two types of reviews of the data. There's an active or a passive. And all of these groups that you just described, I believe they are doing a really passive review. I mean, they're waiting, they're looking to see what's published, and then they're just reviewing that. And even then, they have a very selective, they have an odd selection of the trials. Active reviews, where you actively seek to contact all active trialists, look at the most upcoming data, respond to the trialists, ask them the critical questions about their trials, about their data. There's only one group in the world doing that, and that's the WHO. And that's Dr. Andrew Hill. They have maintained contact with all 59 active trialists. They right now have access to data from almost 30 randomized controlled trials. So when you tell me that Australia is making pronouncements, wishy-washy pronouncements on 10 trials, they are so far behind. They really go do your job or be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the experts. And so I would say my group, Tess Lowry's group in the UK, and then Andy Hill's group as part of the WHO, we've been doing active reviews, meaning we're culminating all of the available evidence, and we're actively working 24/7 to get this. We are the world experts. And when you look at the panels that are really doing this, the mountains of data that we've uncovered and the signals of benefit are unmistakable and unassailable. And that should be the guide. If you look at Canada, I mean, leave Australia aside. I've looked at the documents coming out of Canada, out of France, out of Belgium. Lazy. It's almost like they're willfully neglecting to investigate this medicine, a low cost, not off patent, widely available and promising therapy, and they're not giving the attention that it deserves. It's either benign neglect or criminal neglect.